Welcome to the LoveWorks podcast. My name is Chris Duncan, and my wife Jennifer and I are marriage coaches and ministers in our local church. We've been married for over 20 years and have 6 wonderful children. Over the years, we've experienced infertility, miscarriages, become parents, had career changes, fostered children, and adopted triplets, which among many other life experiences have helped to shape us, our marriage, and our family. We hope to share some of the things we've learned to help others with their journey to have a successful marriage and a strong family, while keeping a focus on our faith as a guide. Thanks for listening, and as always, remember, love works, so let's get to work. Welcome back to the LoveWorks podcast. We are so thankful that you're joining us once again. It's been quite a while. I believe our last episode we dropped was back in June of 2024. So a lot of life has occurred since then, good things and some tough things, but God has been good to us, and we're so thankful for where we are at this new stage in life. We have made a move. So we moved from California to Texas.
I mean, everyone else was doing it, so why not?
Literally, when I went to get my new driver's license, there's like another one. Yeah. So, yes, I'm another one. But for those of you that are joining us, thank you once again for joining us. And for those of you that have listened to us even over our downtime, we were consistently having downloads almost daily throughout the world. It's crazy. Podcasts being listened to, I think, in 13 different countries now.
It's just because they don't understand it.
Because it's not translated yet. Yes. So, or maybe I should say sorry to those of you that have been listening to us. So, but maybe we'll do a series at some point on our move and all of that. It will be quite entertaining talking about trying to move a family of 8, 6 kids across the country, hiring movers, which don't ever do that, ever.
Unless you don't like your stuff, then go for it.
If you don't like your stuff and you don't like money, do it. Highly recommend it. But thank you for coming back and listening to us. We are going to be starting a new series in our new studio, which is now our dining room table in our house in Texas. We went from our dining room table, our house in California, to now Texas. That's our studio. So we're very high tech over here. Matter of fact, this is the second time we've recorded this episode. So we're just having a great time. But again, I know I've said it multiple times, but thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to be kicking off a new series, When I Do Becomes I Did. And we have several topics that we'll be addressing through that. And I think you're going to enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, please like and share it. If you don't enjoy it, don't tell anyone. Keep it to yourself. Don't be rude. No, I'm just kidding. I like rude people too. So, but at this time, Jen's actually going to bring back something that we started on our very first episode, and we've maybe not the first one.
I don't even remember when we started it, but
it's something we're going to carry on. So I'm going to give it over to you, Jen.
All right. So we're going to go and do our What's That segment of our podcast. And for those of you who don't know, our 1-year-old, I think at the time, he didn't know how to talk very well. I mean, he was 1, so
so we talked about as good as me.
And so everything was, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? Well, he's 3 now, so what's that has changed to, what's up, bro?
Yeah. Hey, dad, bro. Can I have some juice? Like, don't call me dad, bro. I'm just dad.
Not quite as cute, but, we still love him. So anyways, my what's that for this week is, it's actually about Asher, our 3-year-old now. He was in Sunday school. He's very excited to go to Sunday school now that he's a big boy. And he was in Sunday school this Sunday, and they asked who wanted to pray for the food. And so he raised his hand and he ran up there And so they're like, "Okay, go ahead and pray for the food," which we do this all the time at home, so I don't know why this was confusing to him at Sunday school, but he bowed his little head and he says, "Thank you, God, for my robot. Amen." He goes and sits down. Now he doesn't have a robot,
No.
and I don't think they were eating robots.
No.
Hopefully not.
No. I hope not.
But, yeah, so he's thankful for his robot. I think he was speaking in hopes of maybe one day getting a robot.
That's right. Maybe he heard that day, "Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find." No,
He was praying in faith.
he was praying in faith. I'm just impressed with his boldness. The teacher told us right away when they said, "Would anyone like to pray?" He jumped right up and was like, "I got this." Like he was so with it. So, yeah. So that's
It's pretty amazing.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that might be the same person one of our 8-year-olds pray to. So, I don't know. Maybe we need help. All right. Enough of that. Back to,
What's that?
oh, my, what's that? Oh, gosh. There's so many things. I'm going to say when it's kind of embarrassing. So, Rowan, she is one of the triplets and she's brutally honest. And she is honest in a way that she's trying to help you, I think. So
She thinks she's
she
being helpful.
thinks she's being helpful. She came out of Kid Zone on Wednesday night, and I was picking them up, and she walks out and pokes my belly and says, "Wow, you're really full tonight." AKA, "Wow, Dad, you're fat." So, yeah, that's my what's that. It felt good. It was like a warm hug. So, went away feeling wonderful. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah,
It was kind of funny, and she's got a really funny sense of humor and personality. So it was so on brand for her. But
absolutely.
okay, so back to our topic, our series. I do, or when I do becomes I did. Let me say that again. When I do becomes I did. And the topic tonight is I do after children, because nobody warned you how much kids change your marriage. They talk about change your life and you think about life, but your marriage, which obviously is part of your life, but it changes it drastically. Kids are a blessing, but they're also bring exhaustion and chaos, less sleep, less time, and a lot of times less of us and less money. And there's
Yeah.
just a lot of less. And we're not trying to discourage anyone. So if anyone's listening that doesn't have any children, like, "Oh, I'm never doing that." No, we're not trying to discourage anyone, but we're talking about a topic that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
The exhaustion, the less. And I mean, I can remember when the triplets, man, we went through like 2.5 cans of formula a day.
That was wild.
It was wild. And we went through like, I forget, like 25 diapers a day, 30
I
diapers a
think it
day,
was like 30. Yeah, it was crazy.
30 diapers a day. I mean, just think of that. If you have young kids right now that you have formula and diapers, I mean, that's a lot of money. So on top of being tired and all these other things, now you have the financial aspect. And in all of that, it can affect our marriages if we allow it in a negative way. So we're going to talk about how to find each other again after the diapers. And if you have older kids, after the drop-offs and after the late nights
Yeah, for
and
all of you with adult children who
yes.
still live with you.
and after the survival mode. So we want to talk about getting back to each other.
That's so key. Before kids, marriage can feel kind of simple, like it's just what we do, right? We go through life, we talk to each other, we talk about our days, we talk about our dreams, our goals, our everything, we
I
talk
just
about
married my best friend and we
yes,
get to
we talk about
have
our
sleepovers
future
every night.
kids, and it's going to be
Yes.
amazing. They're going to
They're
look
going to
just
sleep
like
through the
us. They're
night
gonna
and
be
we're going to be
perfect.
rich.
Yes. We're gonna have so much fun, pushing them on the swings 500 times. So yeah, it's a very simple, amazing time. Enjoy it for those of you who are in that time right now. every stage of marriage is amazing and every stage of marriage has its challenges. With having kids, it's the challenge of finding time and making your marriage a priority.
Yeah.
Everything changes after you have children. Your dates have to be thought about, your hours have to be thought about, right? When you
Yeah.
have babies, it's like your minutes have to be thought about. They're eating on schedule, they're napping on schedules, they're doing all these things, and so all of a sudden your life becomes like this routine of trying to make sure that you're doing all these steps to keep these kids alive.
Yeah, well, you go from, like, spontaneous dates and you can leave the house at the drop of a hat to having to schedule everything and making sure that you have diapers, change of clothes, car seat, stroll just it turns
Bibs,
into
yeah.
yeah, it turns into a giant production that you can get lost in.
It's so true. Your conversations can change. They become more about the logistics, like what child needs to get where, who's going to take this one, who's going to pick up this one, who has the baby, what are we doing, what are we eating for dinner, when are we eating, where are we eating,
Yeah.
all these things. And your us time really becomes like, oh, us as in your family, like, what are we going to do as far as a family? Where are we gonna go as far as a family? And sometimes we can kind of forget that eventually our children are gonna grow up and it's just gonna be the two of us.
Yeah.
And if we pour all of our energy and all of our thoughts and all of our plans and all of our dreams into our children and forget to still have those dreams with each other and those goals with each other, one day they're gonna be gone and moved on, and we're not even gonna know one another.
And that's people talk about that empty nest syndrome,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden they wake up, their kids are adults, they're gone, and they roll over and they don't even know the person that they're next to. And it starts at day 1,
Yeah.
and we really need to make sure that we're focusing on obviously taking care of our kids and providing for them and giving them the best that we can. But we can't allow our children to take the place of our spouse.
That's so true. We really have to be careful with that aspect. And it's so easy to do because we know our children depend on us for these things. And it's so easy to be caught up with that. Our us time becomes something that we put on the back burner. And there's a quiet danger in that. You can love your spouse so deeply, but still drift away emotionally little by little when other things, start to take precedence over your time together. Not because you don't care or not because, it's not a priority. You think you're doing what you think you're prioritizing it,
Yeah,
right? And you think you're making effort, but do we really know what our spouse is going through? Do
yeah,
we really know what they're thinking on a day-to-day basis? If you're sitting here thinking like, "Oh, I don't really know," then probably it's time to like check and say, "Hey, we need to check in. We need to communicate. We need to start prioritizing our marriage." Life is loud. You go from partners, and then once you become parents, it's like your coworkers in the business of raising kids, and you want
it's
everything
crazy
for
business.
them, and you wanna do everything right. But it's so important that we remember that just because we have kids, we're still the same house, the same mission, and we have to make sure we don't have less connection with our spouse. We're all guilty of this on some level
Yeah,
because no matter what stage you are in parenting, it's so easy to get overwhelmed or just get busy with raising kids that we kind of forget to make sure that we're taking the time and setting aside that time to be with our spouse. So, what are some of the things that we can do to change that?
well, before we jump into that, there's a couple things that kinda stand out there. Number 1, Jen said that's normal. So, first off, I wanna let you know you're not broken, you're normal. If you're
Right.
feeling that way, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling that you don't know your spouse anymore because it went from when you were dating talking about everything
All the
um,
time.
all the time
Yeah.
to now you have a child or children and you find yourself only talking about the child or children or their needs or the schedule and never really talking to each other and about what's going on in life and not just the kid's life but your life. And we really need to make sure that we're focusing on that and coming back to that almost going back to that first love
Mhm.
and really making sure that we're having those intimate conversations and checking in with each other. Because when you were dating, and when you were newly married, and you didn't have any kids, you could tell someone was off, like, "Are you okay? What's wrong today? What can I do?" And then kids come along, you're like, "Oh, great, that guy's grumpy again." Well,
If you even if
if
you
you
notice,
notice, yeah.
and you're not just so tired, you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to bed."
Here's what a lot of couples feel, but they don't say out loud. I still love you. I'm just tired. We've had those conversations, especially with the girls. At that time when we had the triplets, the boys were younger too. Boston was, I think,
He was 10,
10, and Grayson was like
7.
7. And we were fostering also. So we had other babies. We had a lot going on and we were so exhausted. We were so tired. And we had our church ministry. I worked, in the corporate world also. Jen holds down the fort at home, which is way harder than what I do. A- And we were there and we still loved each other but we were just tired and we had a conversation. Okay, let's not hold anything against each other for this next year.
Yeah.
The girls' first year, okay, if I say something preemptively right now, I'm saying I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't take it
don't
personal.
don't
I'm
take it
just so
personal.
tired.
I still love you. I'm just tired. Still say those words though. And both sets, I still love you and I'm just tired. Talk about it. Don't just try to deal with it on your own and don't just think that they know. Obviously, I'm tired. They're tired too. We're in this together. But again, it's about communication. A lot of couples feel this but don't say it out loud. I still care. I just don't feel connected right now. And if you get to that point where you don't feel connected, say something.
Yeah.
Say something right away.
I know that one's hard because you don't wanna hurt your spouse by you know, saying that sometimes, and it's I don't think it should come across hurtful because if you're saying it, it's because you still want to connect on some level, right? You're not just like,
No, just
"I don't
checking
feel
out.
connected, bye,"
Yeah.
You want to figure out something together to help you guys bring back that connection that you had, that relationship that you had, bring it back to where you knew one another and you guys were both in the same going in the same direction.
Yeah. And when you're telling them, "I don't feel connect right now," you're telling them, "I still want this marriage. I
Mhm.
still want this. I just don't know how to show up with everything else that's on my plate right now. I need
Absolutely.
help." It's a cry for help.
Yeah.
And our human nature is not to ask for help. Even how crazy is this? Even to our own spouse, though.
Yeah.
Society has almost made it to where if we even tell our spouse that we're struggling with something or we need help, that we're weak for some reason. You're not weak, you're human.
Yeah.
And when you open up to them and tell them, "Hey, I need help. I want to show up. I just don't know how to right now." You can talk about ways together. Okay, what do you need at this time for me to show up? What does me showing up look like to you? How can I get there? And talk about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but if you don't talk about it, it will not happen.
Yeah.
And then you may end up in that place that none of us ever want to be where we're just roommates and wait until the kids get older and then check out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so it can be parenting can be so rewarding,
Hmm.
but there's also pitfalls if we don't make our commitment to each other a priority.
Yeah.
And we're not intentional with it. And you can't fully parent if you're not parenting together.
Yes.
So if we have no relationship, we're not modeling a great marriage to our
Yeah.
children, and we're not on the same page. So it's going to cause more disagreements in parenting. It's going to cause more friction. It's going to cause so many other problems. So it doesn't just cause problems with the marriage, but it's going to cause problems with your parenting, and it's going to cause problems in the family. So it's so important that it's not selfish to prioritize your spouse. It's absolutely the most important thing you can do.
Absolutely. And when the kids come, the marriage can often become reactive instead of intentional. And we want to make sure that we're always intentional, because when we're intentional about things, they're just better. When you're intentional in your marriage, you and your spouse feel closer together and things get done together, and it's a team. You're a team
Yeah.
when it's intentional instead of reactive. So we can get in a mode of where we're always responding all day long to the kids' needs or work needs or house needs, and your marriage gets whatever crumbs are left. And I don't want that for your marriage, and I don't want that for my marriage. We have to make sure that our marriage, our spouse, doesn't get the leftovers.
Yeah.
They get the first cut. And that's how God created it. Adam and Eve, he created them before they had any kids. And he instituted marriage, and he instituted them two becoming one. And when we allow other things, even the most precious thing in our life, our children, to separate that bond, there is always going to be friction, and there
Yeah.
is always going to be disengagement. You can see it so often. You go out to eat, or you're just out in public anywhere, and you see a couple and they're both on their phones.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at them, they're in the same room or the same area, but they're in different worlds.
Yeah, they're not communicating at all, and they've set aside time, and they're still not
Yeah.
communicating.
They've decided we're going to go on a date and still not talk to each other
Yeah.
and still not look at each other. And that is a sad place to be in. So if you're there today, put the phone down,
Yeah.
turn the phone off.
Yeah, which is so hard for some of us. I totally understand, because our lives revolve around that now. And I know you're listening to all this and you're thinking, well, there's just zero time. Like, I have zero time to do these. I'm already overwhelmed. Like, how am I ever going to do this? Like, this will take hours out of my day to try to do this. It really won't. We just have to be consistent with it, and we have to be intentional. There's so many ways where we can connect with our spouse on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, but we do have to make it a priority. Number one, lower your bar for fairy tale romance.
Yes.
Your spouse, husband, wife, whatever, you're probably not going to have, a lot of long walks on the beach or a horseback carriage, that,
Through
that,
Central Park,
yes, yeah.
gazing into
Yeah.
each other's eyes longingly.
You might not have that every day, but be consistent. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be faithful. 5 minutes of real eye contact. And this isn't just like, sitting there staring into each other's eyes. Oh,
No words.
yeah. This is
Blinked.
like when you're speaking to your spouse, make sure that you have at least 5 minutes of uninterrupted time together.
So I'm going to say it again. Put down the phone. Don't have the TV on. You have your shows that you guys watch together. It's like, we're going to spend time together. We're going to watch a show together, and you're not talking. One of you is watching the show. The other one's on their phone, kind of watching the show. Jen, did I say that? So you need to have that time that you actually dedicate so you can connect.
Yes, the kids in bed or whatever you need to do to get that 5 minutes of uninterrupted time, whether it's wake up early or stay up a little bit later, but just have it. It's 5 minutes. You can do this, and this is so important for your marriage. Have an honest check-in.
Yeah.
Make sure that you guys are healthy in all aspects of your life, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. check in with your spouse. How are you doing today? And really mean it when you say that.
An honest check-in. Honest. Don't lie about it.
Yeah.
You should be able to bare your soul to your spouse. You should be able to tell them, I'm struggling. This is what I'm struggling with. Or I'm struggling. I don't even know why I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know. And so we're like, okay, let's see if we can figure this out together. But honest, you have to be honest. I'm telling you, you have honest check-in with your spouse, it's going to start changing things. If you're struggling, you guys have become disconnected, you're, in the same room, but in different worlds, you have an honest check-in. It is the road, the path back to where you want to be.
Absolutely. Hugs, that physical touch, even if it's just coming and putting your arm around them, make sure that it lasts longer than 2 seconds. Make sure that it actually is intentional. You're
Yeah,
not
not a bro
just,
hug.
yeah, like, okay, bye. But make sure that you're actually spending those seconds. I think we saw a study where I think a hug that lasts, is it 20
I think it's 20
seconds?
seconds.
Yeah.
Don't quote us on that.
20 seconds. You can look it up, Google. 20 seconds or more actually will activate like dopamine and all those feel good feelings in your body and really change how you feel about your spouse. And that sounds so silly, 20 seconds. But think about it. Sometimes we get so busy, we don't even take 20 seconds to hug each other.
Yeah.
So do that. There's so many other things. If you're having trouble and you're just like, I'm so tired at the end of the day, I can't even think about having a conversation. All I have running through my head is what I need to do for the next day. How am I going to get everything done? Get get conversation cards out.
Yeah.
And every night, grab one of those questions and just talk about that question with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
There's apps now that you can do it that
Yeah.
give you a question every day. Just so you have that dialogue, you need to be speaking with your spouse.
And if you're thinking right now, man, that's lame if I have to have a card or an app tell me what to say. Well, you're not saying anything now, so that's lame. Let's start talking. Let's start getting
Yeah.
better, man. I mean, some of the ideas might sound, wow, that's kind of, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah. Or actually, I first read it and I'm like coaching a couple. I was like, you need to do this. I'm like, I need to do this.
I know it is.
And it
You
helps.
do.
It
You
makes a
just get, here's
difference.
the thing. We all get so tired. We get to that point. We're so exhausted. We're so overextended. We have so many needs and so many things that people need from us that sometimes we just can't. We don't have the ability to think outside of what we have to do. And these are some ways that we can kind of like help ourselves. Talk about your dreams, fears. Last night, Chris and I were on a date and we talked about our fears, and it was just so funny, like how different it was, his fears versus my fears. And my fears about, things were like, weren't even on his radar.
Yeah.
It was just so funny talking about these things. But you want to know these things about your spouse. It's so important that we know each other and that we're constantly checking in and doing these things, because as humans, we change, we evolve, we get different. And if we're evolving separately, we're evolving apart. And
Absolutely.
we don't want that to happen.
And consistency beats intensity every time.
Absolutely. Talk about your thoughts, spiritual growth, and only talk about drop-offs, pickups, bills, bedtimes, all that stuff. Talk about that at some other time. Don't talk about it in your us time.
Yeah.
You're going to have time throughout the day to speak on those things. And there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, we got 10 minutes to talk about us time. And then after that, we'll talk about A, B, and C that needs to happen. That's completely fine. But try to keep your time with your spouse just about the two of you for at least that whatever amount of time you've set aside for the two of you. There's a simple question you can try. You can even do this tonight. And it's just asking them, how are they really doing? When was the last time you asked your spouse that? And actually really wanted to know, how are you really doing? And when was the last time you felt like they honestly answered you back?
Yeah. And if you feel like they're not answering honest and you know that, Call them on it.
Have
No,
a
be
discussion.
like, "Hey, I feel like there's something more there.
Yeah,
Let's dig into this."
absolutely. That question can open so many emotional doors. It sounds like such a simple question, but if we were really honest when we answered that and when we asked that, it's really going to help you guys stay connected, stay going in the same direction, keeping your marriage first in your life. Remember, you're on the same team.
Yes.
You want to be the best husband and wife. You want to be the best parents.
You're on the team against the
Yeah,
kids. No,
no,
I'm kidding.
your kids are amazing. You want all these things, but you can't let things get out of order.
Yeah.
And so it's so important that we keep everything where it belongs. Kids can divide couples when stress is high. And it's not the kids themselves, it's just the needs of the
Yeah.
children can just wear on you and make it to where, you're already stressed and then you have to care for these children, and that can take priority over the needs and the care that you give to your spouse. Make sure that doesn't happen. Different parenting styles, it can cause when all your priorities are out of whack, it can cause different stress responses, different expectations. The enemy of your marriage is not your spouse. And we always have to remember that,
I'm to
especially,
say amen to that.
yeah, especially when we're in the throes of, babies or toddlers or all these different like stages of life. We have to remember that we're in this together. We're a team. We have to be connected. The enemy of your marriage is never your spouse, but it's being disconnected from
Mhm.
your spouse.
Absolutely.
You don't have to win all the arguments. Remember that when you're so stressed out and it seems like everything is just like, "Urgh," we don't have to win every time, and we don't even have to try to get into that argument.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's things that irritate you and you're just like, "You know what?
For another day.
It's for another day. We'll get there, but it's for another day." But you have to win at unity.
Yes.
You have to make sure that, you know what, maybe that his socks on the floor are not that big of a deal because I want to be close to him. So make sure that we're keeping that in mind when, little things start to irritate us and bother us. Is it something that we need to discuss with our spouse, or is this something that we're just seeing because we're tired, we're feeling overstimulated, we're feeling overwhelmed, and we just need to check in with one another?
So good. And what we're looking to win is unity. Getting back to being that unit, that two becoming one. You know what? Something we don't think about, and it can be affected during the tough times of child raising, regardless of stage, newborn, toddler, teenage, young adult, whatever that may be, is there's something powerful about our marriage. And we need to make sure we don't lose this. And is our marriage, it isn't just a partnership, it's a ministry.
Yeah.
You're modeling love for your kids. You're modeling forgiveness for your kids. You're modeling commitment when it's not easy. We show our children what they should be looking for in a spouse.
Mhm.
And some of you might be, married right now or engaged to get married, and maybe you grew up in a broken home, a single parent or a divorce home or something like that. I grew up with a single mom. I didn't know what it was like to be a dad. I never saw a dad in the home. I never saw a husband in the home. I didn't know any of that. Thank God for the church. I was able to see good men that were great fathers and great husbands, and I could emulate those things from them. But if you have children and you're together with your spouse in the home, we are modeling for them what love looks like.
Yeah.
We are modeling for them what forgiveness looks like. We're modeling for them what commitment is. And we can even, in the tough times,
Yeah.
they're going
Yeah.
to see how you deal with the tough times. And that is a ministry, that is a witness to them. And if you handle the tough times in a good way, they're going to see that and they're going to bank that away. And if you don't handle them the right way, they're going to see that and bank that away. But that's okay because one of the most spiritual things that we can do is apologize. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. I am extremely far from perfect. I've had to apologize to Jen, the kids. I'm sad to say that I've had to do it more than once, probably more than 5 times, and I'll have to do it more in the future, not because I'm going out trying to be a knucklehead, but I'm human, and sometimes you just need to apologize and reconnect. Pray together. Even if it feels awkward at first, your marriage, you should be praying together. You should be praying about things. Now, I know some folks that pray in the same room, and if you want to do that, more power to you. Jen and I don't pray in the same room. We pray about the same things, and sometimes we do pray about specific things, but our daily prayer time isn't together in the same room. I should say that. But we do pray about things, and if it's some for the kids or, a need has been brought to our attention, we'll pray together about that. But there's so much power in praying together. So you're struggling, get back to that spiritual walk. Be like, okay, today we're going to get up at 7 and, we're going to pray. I'll go, into the living room, you stay in the bedroom and we're going to pray. Or if you guys decide to pray together in the same room, do that. And again, it might feel awkward at first, but the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there will be in their midst. We know that we can pray alone and call upon the Lord and he'll come down and visit with us. But there's power there when we're praying together and we're fighting this not only, day-to-day battle of life, but a spiritual battle together.
Absolutely.
A simple prayer that you could even pray, you're struggling and God, help us find our way back to each other. God, help us find our way back to each other. It sounds so simple, but sometimes it's the simplest prayers that can get us back on track and we can receive that answer. Prayers like that go a long way. So I have a challenge for us as we're wrapping up this series, or not series, but this episode. I want you to do one small intentional thing for your spouse this week. And actually, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's to you. So you can do it tomorrow on Valentine's. I hope you're doing something for them. But
if you're not, go do it right now.
Yes. If you're not, do it. But something you can do over the next week and maybe weeks, because I believe after 21 days of doing something, you've created a habit. But send a thoughtful text message to them. Plan 20 minutes alone together. Ask how they're really doing. Say thank you for something specific. The challenge is not to fix everything, but it's just to make things better. And it's to show our spouse that we're thinking about them. We're choosing to think about them. We're choosing to do something for them. And if it's, there's something else that comes to mind, do it. It's not just these 4 things that you can do, but whatever it is, it just needs to be intentional. And it's a reminder to each other that we're still choosing I do today, because love isn't about perfection. It's about presence. And presence is a choice that we can make again today and every day moving forward. Well, that's all the time that we have this evening, because it's about almost 1 a.m. right now. So thank you for hanging in there with us.
Hopefully it's not 1 a.m. where you are.
We hope something that we've said will be helpful and that you can apply it to your life and to your marriage. Please share or subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts if you haven't already. Also, please like, rate, and share. If you don't like it, don't comment. I don't want to hear your rude. No, I'm just kidding.
But still like it and share it, right? No.
But thank you so much for listening to Love Works podcast. As always, remember, love works. So let's get to work.